What's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Manji TV. On today's episode, we've got the super rad F80 M3 CS on the lift for some KW Clubsport V3s getting installed and changing out the Haas kit that was originally on this car. We've got Morgan already working on everything. We haven't gotten too far. We'll kind of run you down on what we've done so far. We've removed the panels back here that cover the kind of fuse boxes and the brake reservoir. We've gone ahead and removed the 3 pop clips that hold down this little rubber boot that goes over the strut tower. We have removed the connectors to the EDC struts. So we're gonna be removing those and ditching them and plugging in our EDC delete kit from KW. We'll show you that here in a second. Here's a quick look at the KW coilovers in the box. We've got a brand new set ready to go on this car. Super excited to see how these feel in comparison. Here's a quick look at the EDC deletes. So they are just like some little modules or basically simulators of the EDC shocks themselves. There is some supplied hardware that you're gonna need to get this done. You do have to repin the factory connectors, unfortunately. I'm kind of surprised by that. I would have thought they would have made it plug and play, but nonetheless, everything you need is here. You got some new hardware to mount the rear shocks to the body, some zip ties to mount all of these EDC deletes to the actual car, and some new fresh seals for the rear shocks. We'll be showing you that. Also some nice instructions that kind of talk you through what you need to do. Nonetheless, we're gonna go ahead and get these front stock struts out first, finish the front up, and then once we do the front, we'll go to the back. You do have to remove the rear inner fender wells. We've already gone ahead and removed those. As you can see here, they're out. Those EDC deletes will kind of mount up in this little pocket here above the rear shocks. So we'll go ahead and kind of show you how that's done when we get to that. But yeah, we've got all the wheels off. We're slowly working on this thing. Wanted to just, before we get too far along, show you guys what we've done so far. I'm gonna give you guys a quick look at what you gotta do. So first things first, start unclipping all of your EDC connectors that go to your EDC shocks. If you don't have EDC on your car, you won't have to do that, but you still have to disconnect your brake wear sensor and your ABS sensor from the strut. Also, the brake cable is held in back here with like a little clip. You're gonna wanna remove that so that this brake cable can come up and be free. What we're gonna do is tip all of this suspension outward and replace the strut kind of facing out towards us outside the fender. We'll show you that here in a bit, but this is the gist of what it looks like. You will also have to remove the 16mm nut for your sway bar end links. And that's pretty much it. Don't forget to your ride height sensors on the front left and the rear left. We'll be disconnecting those as well. All right guys, as you can see here, we have the KW V3 installed in the strut. Give you a quick look at the other side while Morgan's putting that together. So this is kind of the gist of what you guys will do. So what it looks like with the factory struts pulled out. Got the factory strut here, laying on the ground. But nonetheless, best way to get these things out is just put like a punch or like a pry bar, screwdriver, something through here just to kind of separate these ears, which will make pulling the strut out easier. Quick comparison of the factory struts and the KW V3s. As you can see here, kind of similar, but it does have this little copper spacer here at the bottom, which you do want to be careful. These can come off, so just make sure that that's oriented the correct way with the chamfer facing down towards the bottom of the shock. We'll show you installing this one here. All right guys, we're about to put the new strut in, but just wanted to mention you do want to wipe this out real good and make sure there's no dirt or debris that's going to cause the strut to not fit perfectly in this taper section. And this pin here goes right towards the split on the knuckle. So as you guys can see here, it's basically seated all the way and they should basically fall right in, but I like to tap them a little bit just to make sure. So we'll show you that now. Okay. Just one more on this side. Oh yeah. All right guys, that's kind of what we do just to make sure they're seated nice. We'll go ahead and throw the bolt in it now and torque that to 74 plus 90 degrees. So 74 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. All right guys, so we've gone ahead and spun the adjuster pad down about halfway down the strut. We've torqued our pinch bolt to 74 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and tip this bad boy in. I'll show you guys how we get it up. Morgan's gonna align it for us. I'm gonna come in here underneath the arm and just hit the lower ball joint. We'll make sure to bring it up nice and slow. Keep it centered on our upper strut mount. Let me get the light for them so you guys can see better. Center it. You can press it until our strut pops right through the top, and you'll go ahead and throw our 12-point 18 mil nut on the top. And the way that I like to get these all the way sucked down is I'll come in here with one hand and I'll pinch the actual shock shaft and then kind of zap it from the top. You're good. And the torque for this is 44 Newton meters, so we'll go ahead and torque that now that it's been sucked down. All right guys, here's a quick look at everything installed. So you will reclip your ABS sensors and brake cable sensors back in here and back into the box. Also, you will have to put this clip back on for your brake line. Make sure to tap it down all the way. You can see here this connector has been replugged into the strut here. We do still need to swap over our little speed sensors, our velocity sensors, so be sure to take your velocity sensors off your old struts and swap them over. We'll go ahead and do that now, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick look at where we're at. I am currently working on repinning the connectors. If you do have EDC, you will have to repin your connectors. For whatever reason, KW chose to use like a universal delete, probably, where even though they look almost identical, they are a slightly different connector, and so you will have to repin. As you can see here, this factory blue and white one is the OEM, and I've already done the passenger side here with this black and green unit. So the key to doing that is to release this white section. It actually slides that way. So you'll just kind of pop this over, and that will allow you to come from the bottom side and just push the little tab releases and pull the wires out one by one. So I'll show you that here in a sec. Hopefully you guys can see this, but there's a slight gap now between the blue and the white. It's not very much, but it's just enough to release the tabs. And then if you look from the bottom, you'll actually be able to see the silver pins in there and one through this white hole. It's really hard on camera. I'm not sure if you guys can pick that up, but you'll just take a little, pin or like a pick tool and just barely push down. There's like a little finger in there you'll push down, and at the same time pull the wire out the back. Generally they'll just pop right out. All right guys, so once you push your new pins in, they're super easy. You'll just pull this tab back over and it'll just lock in place and it's all good to go. All right guys, hopefully you can see the white has been moved over. I've released the pins and you can see the weather pack seal starting to pull out. So it's gonna be hard to do one-handed, but I'm gonna try and show you guys here what we do here. So the black and yellows on the left, the black or all yellows on the right. Just as long as you guys keep them in the same order is all that matters. The colors do change corner to corner, so the colors are irrelevant. So we'll go ahead and pull those bad boys off. Here you can see the pins. I don't know if it's easy to see, but there's kind of like a little finger on the bottom side here. That is what locks them into the new connectors. So we're just gonna take our new connector and just basically slide it right over top of both of these wires. And that's basically what you're gonna do. You're gonna shove them all the way in, you'll hear them clip, and then you'll go ahead and push this orange tab or this green tab over to lock it in place. All right guys, so we've got the new spring in here. It's actually basically identical to the old Haas kit, the only difference being that it's slightly shorter. We've set our adjusters at the exact same height as the original ones. Hopefully the height is very similar. We'll find out here shortly. But what we will do is retorque all of these bolts. This outer one is 120 or 108 Newton meters, 108 foot-pounds, 74 plus 90 degrees on the shock bolt. And I do still have to swap over the last connector here. You can see the white and blue one is factory. The black and green ones are aftermarket. Morgan is currently cleaning out the arm here. We've got the old shock out. Your old seals may break like this one. So they did supply some new seals. I don't know, yeah, we haven't even put the other one in, but there are some new seals that you'll want to replace those for. Do not forget to take this level sensor off, because you can damage it when you're pulling down this arm to get the spring out. So we'll go ahead and get the new spring in. I'll show you that here. We have swapped over our top hats for the original shocks to the new ones. We have also swapped over our speed sensors, front and rear. We've torqued them to 10 Newton meters. You can see here the Front ones are in. So all that is all good and tight. And last thing to do in the front here is the sway bar end links, which we'll do shortly. All right guys, this is the passenger side rear. Everything is done and in. You can see we've got our harness zip tied up here, all the way down, connector here, a couple zip ties holding it in place. Everything looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and put the inner fender well in. Show you guys the other side one more time. Still gotta put the shock in, which we're working on now, but everything is all good to go. Make sure to delete your top hat. And then there is a new black cover supplied, as well as a seal. Here's the seal, so make sure to put your new seal in. Put that in, and then you're gonna put this on top. So make sure to do that, guys. All right, guys, everything is installed and torqued. Once again, torques on these shock bolts are 74 plus 90 degrees, 74 Newton meters plus 90 degrees, 165 Newton meters on the rear. The uppers are 25 foot-pounds. They've been marked and torqued. All of the wiring is in, everything is beautiful. We've adjusted the ride height a few times. Everything's looking good though. One more peek at these bad boys, looking amazing. We're gonna go ahead and take it for its first test drive. One thing also mention is make sure to check all your clickers. We set everything directly in the center, so that's something you're gonna wanna think about.
If you like this video, be sure to check out the next one, and if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and like the video. It helps a lot. Thanks, and see you in the next one.